Hello, this is DreadLore. We're the Dreadies, and we're playing this game, DreadLore. Everybody say hi.
Hello.
Hi to the world. So we're playing DreadLore. DreadLore is a tabletop role-playing game which rewards immersive role-play. And tonight's game, the campaign we are playing, is the Red Writ.
The Red Writ.
The Red Writ is situated, it's a modern era game. It's situated in 1982 in Detroit, where Cthulhian weird crap is going on, and these investigators have become embroiled in it. They are really involved right now, but we'll get to that later. In DreadLore, players use their character traits to gain a bit of the control over the fiction. If their task is opposed or particularly difficult, they may have to throw down dice. So, who do we have? Who do we have tonight? We got Mr. Ken Howl.
Me.
Got Drizzle, Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and Daniel Holker. And I'm Bill Bunkum. I want to thanks to the music. It's all lowercase letters. That's in all lowercase letters. Mr. Interrupt, thank you for the music. I want to thank our Patreon people. We have a Patreon if you want to join it. Thank you to Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Mr. Tim Roberts, and Daniel Holker. Also, thanks to Couchfire Media for all these wonderful media productions you're seeing. Go to www.couchfiremedia.com to check out what they do. And thanks to Trois Replay Productions. But no thanks, okay? Hey, Holker, who's our sponsor?
Tonight we have a sponsor.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's a sponsor.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you, sponsor. Also, thanks to DJ NoFly for the subscription, for subscribing on Twitch. Apparently, you can
get those subs.
You can sub on Twitch with your Prime membership.
Yeah, you get one free subscription per year through Prime.
That's pretty sweet.
You can subscribe to one channel for the whole year, and it's not even a year. It's like a couple of months or even a month. So you can do us 1 month and then somebody else the next month. Or you could just do us every month.
That's right. That's right.
Or however it works. I have no idea.
So let's introduce our characters. Start with Andrea.
Hi, my character is Leah Mizrahi, who is a former IDF and Mossad agent who left Israel to try and find a better life, and for some reason chose Detroit.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was a poor decision.
And the Driz?
I play Simon Vincent. He is a hard-boiled detective, used to be a cop, but left the force in early retirement because of something bad that happened, and is reluctantly here trying to save people.
Yeah, everybody really wants to be here. Holker?
My character is Tony Czerniak. He is a former priest and now turned border guard. Well, he was a border guard.
Now he's kind of a border guard still, just a different kind of border.
He's wrapped up. I think he fell into the wrong crowd. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that crowd fell into a wrong universe.
Ken?
Well, now he's a cultist of Onus.
He's a super cultist. I play a character, Nord Zetterberg, who is a journalist and a historian, and a wizard apparently with crazy powers, or maybe potentially he's just a drug addict who is tripping balls.
Maybe. Or both.
Or both. All of the above.
So last game, you guys, the long and the short of it, you found your way back to the chamber where Loretta Levon is committing some sort of sin. She's siphoning off the soul energy, the ethos of these poor six cultists, several of whom are dead and their corpses are burning away into dust. The ground is laced with runic circles, seals of binding. Loretta is obviously into witchcraft and runes and pacts as she's weaving these floating runes around her. You all found your way in, hiding behind we'll call them sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi?
Sarcophagi.
They're basically altars, little sacrificial altars, and there's 6 of them. Hiding behind, you all attempted to sneak in, and before much happened, Nord popped out into the open, drew Loretta Levon's attention. He used one of his new tricks, which is empowering his soul, so he's glowing, and they start an old-fashioned drop down, drag out wizard's duel. Ibo, this mysterious archer, is behind you. You know that Ibo doesn't like people trying to raise dead gods, nor does he like gods in general. And he's got this gnarly bow as he starts to pull out one of the arrows from the quiver. The arrow is glowing. It seems like it's taking a long time for him to do, dramatically long. At the same time, it's obviously requiring a lot of concentration on his part. Whatever he's doing is imbuing this arrow, and it's very difficult, perhaps taxing for him to do. Beyond that, Simon, you have pulled one of the cultists, the sacrificial cultists, off of the altar, attempting to disrupt the spell, which I believe you may have accomplished. At least partly.
Yeah, it just weakened it a little. Yeah.
Yeah, it weakens the spell. Meanwhile, Rebecca Foster, your newfound werewolf friend and Lady of the Night, has been given a grenade by Leah. Leah and Rebecca are attacking Loretta with magic and grenades. From cover. Meanwhile, what did Tony do?
Not much. He was trying not to go nuts, and he was also suffering from the ill effects of vertigo.
Indeed, that's right. As he sort of stumbles around and lands on his butt behind one of the altars. This room is thrumming with power. I described it in extreme detail and took a long time to say it last time. It is like a discotheque with the magical energy like bass rattling your bones. As all of you have taken these actions, Loretta had cast a spell, slung a spell at Nord, who remarkably used his staff like Gandalf the High to bust up the spell and actually start siphoning some of the soul energy into the staff. Now, what does that do? Nord doesn't know. He does have a little bit of knowledge of death mick, not death milk, death mick, which is a scroll.
It is death mick. It doesn't have an L in there, does it?
Correct. It's also porthole, not porthole. Lord.
You got the portholes.
You heard the portholes. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
The starboard portholes.
The portholes.
It's like on a boat. We're on a boat. Like in
I'm gonna use the school of death milk. Oh my god. At any rate, It's not like Deathmick is a better name. Whatever. So, Ibo is not very happy at Nord doing this, siphoning all this energy, and neither is Loretta. Cue the 1980s Japanese video game music. Is going. This is the montage, just because the DreadLore always starts in the montage. That said, the first action will be Loretta's, since it is the antagonist's turn. It's after Cunning has been spent. So you all cannot interrupt her action with Cunning. But we are in the montage at present. So a little bit of soft role play is fine. Andrea, you mentioned that you had to go get something out of the oven.
Yes, I do.
Is that right now?
Momentarily.
Okay. Well, that will give me just enough moment to kill you.
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
Nord, the wild magic energy is flowing through this gloaming staff that you're holding. It feels like a live wire. It has numbed your entire arm. Anything that's touching it, your body is pulsing with this energy, and the psychic screams of these souls that are being spun like thread into the fibers of this staff. With your extremely doped up eyes and senses, I have no clue what you're seeing, but it's a lot of colors. It's like the end of 2001. Like, dude, you are going into the obelisk.
Can I say that? I mean, I think I described it last time. It was like all the colors. It was like everything went white.
As you're holding on to onlookers, those of you that are looking, is anyone looking at Nord?
Probably not. No, I'd be focused on Loretta.
Unless he was... No, because I'm pulling the body off the altar.
Hulker, are you looking?
Yep.
You see Nord holding the staff, all the muscles in his neck strained. His teeth are bared. Blood is coming out of his mouth, dripping down his chin, just pouring as he's one big flexed muscle. His hair stand on end comically, like he's being electrocuted, as his clothes. What are you wearing, Nord? This is a good question.
He's got
what is Nord wearing right now?
He's got a t-shirt on, and then over that he has like a Kevlar jacket, and then over that he's got like a trench coat that is kind of like in sequins. Or
about the deer pelt?
Like a coat. Yeah, the deer pelt I threw into the boiling liquid to see if it would...
you don't have the deer pelt anymore. Oh.
I don't.
Well, okay, so he looks like a modern wizard, like Dresden, as he's sitting there and this energy is flowing around him. He's lifted off the ground just onto his his heels are off the ground. He's hovering there, his toes just barely touching the ground, like a poltergeist.
Before I be right back, can you use an advancement to increase your magical control?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then now I know what I'm going to spend that on.
Yeah. Okay. It just has to be in a scroll that you have.
Okay. Well, so
every
you just
scroll
gave me a random...
Every scroll has a magical control.
Okay. The only reason I asked because you gave me, because last session you gave us, I think you gave both me and
it was a magic sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have magical control. It's a general magic sense. So the idea would be normally by the rules, you're gaining control in a scroll of magicka.
Okay.
Right? So it's not universal magicka, right? So having that first control, it's simply stating you can tell magic you have a sense about it. So if you're advancing it, the question is obvious. Obviously, what is that going to do? Because at present, you have no control. You don't understand it.
Gotcha.
So you need to scroll them at you.
Fair. All right.
Go take your buns out of the oven.
Yes. You're back.
Excellent. Nor does that is all happening. Loretta, she is shouting over the torrent of energy. How dare you? As she had commanded you to become part of her legion. How dare you disrupt this holy rite? As she says, like there's tracers around her eyes, and she's, gesticulating whole arm movements of these runes in the air. You see her cut her wrist, and her blood starts trailing along, as you can tell, Nord. Well, you're not seeing her because everything's white for you, but you can tell she's obviously casting. As she says, and for your insolence, you will be my minion. As she casts. Okay. The runes fly before you. The runic circles, I should say, a light. As you feel your legs stick to the floor. As Loretta Levon, she's bleeding, but with this magical energy going everywhere. You have this maybe sympathetic connection with her, Nord. Perhaps it's memories from the souls you've just ingested into your staff. Maybe they're screaming these mysteries to you. Her soul level is very high right now. She was attempting to use the souls to gain apotheosis, and she's pretty close. As a wave of this energy attempts to crush you and crush your willpower. The staff shakes, and she's utterly dominating your body. That's what she's attempting to do. So, you can throw down against this. The spell is active because you're standing in the runes. So it's complete. Now you're simply resisting it. If you were outside the runes, it would be more like, does she hit you type thing. But this is, you're in the boiling water, you are boiling. Okay?
Sure.
You take damage as well. Tony, will you roll me a D12?
I got a 2.
All right. Nord, you take 2 damage. As this energy whips around, some of it's deflected off, almost like dodging a lightning bolt. Very aware that it would hurt badly if you got hit by that. As her grip tightens and the runes fall into place, she moves. Those of you that see, or that can actually see her, I don't know, Simon, do you have a line of sight or no?
If she's in the middle of the circle, then probably so. Because I pulled the body off, and so unless it's the second that I've got it down, if she's in the circle, I'm probably going to see, at least in my periphery.
As you pull this body off, the person on it, or the person whose body you have, you can tell vaguely what they looked like. Their flesh is sunken in, and like prematurely rotted. It looks like something siphoned out their soul, like Shang Tsung. As you get them down, the eyes will roll up white and bloody, as the brain is probably mush. But for a split second, there is the last bit of awareness in this person. And on your turn, you can have a moment there if you want. In that moment, though, as in right now, the body is starting to literally flake away and turn into dust in your arms. As you see Loretta moving, as she walks, it's like the ground alights underneath her feet with the runes wrapping around. It's very apparent that she owns these runes. It is her spell. As she moves up to where Rebecca and Leah are and raises her hand, you see the runes on the ground, which were flat, become three-dimensional and attempt to grab and slice through both of them in like a Ginsu style, like. As she does this, she looks over, seeing Tony, waves her hand, and like Hell in Thor Ragnarok, those runes whip out and attempt to cut him into pieces. Are you in the runic circle?
No, I am outside the runic circle.
Looking over, seeing you pull the body off of the altar, her face turns into like the Grudge. Just absolute hatred in these eyes as she raises her hand and tries to basically force pull you. She says, "Come here," and tries to Darth Vader you into this circle. You feel your mind, her hand grab onto the back of your head, metaphorically, and pulling you in. Okay. That's her action. Anyone who's resisting or getting out of the way, you may throw down.
I threw down. Do you get to use? I pretty much maxed out all the things. If I used everything last, in the cutting round, does that mean that I'm out of traits to use, or can I use traits?
What do you mean when you used everything?
Well, I mean, I maxed out what, when I bid cunning, or when I used cunning, I used, my staff, all my items, I used all my traits.
So whatever traits you've already used are exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And until the next scene, or until you start getting flair. But like abilities and such, you just activate them with another trait.
Great. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. Asking if
Are
I
you
can I
Are you
activate?
exhausted? Have you exhausted all of your traits?
No, there was a new scene last game. Definitely not. No, I was just I was wondering if I could use traits and ninja gear and stuff to defend or to
of course.
Is it just
you can
throwing
always
down?
do that. You can always do that.
Okay.
Literally every turn you can do that. The difference is if it's been exhausted, you can't. So for example, let's say you use this bottle. If you bid the bottle, it's exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't bid the bottle anymore.
Right.
And that's a specific thing with ninja gear. Like, let's say the bottle has 3 traits on it. If you exhaust all 3 traits, they're exhausted. So you can't bid that ninja gear anymore.
Sure.
That's not the same as abilities. An ability you can activate with any trait.
Right.
So even if like you have magic and you're like, I bid magic, that trait is exhausted, but the ability, you can bid Nord Zetterberg's name and activate the ability.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am going to use Kettle to activate Kobayashi Maru.
Yep. Which I know what that is, but you're going to have to describe it to all the rest of the people.
Well, Kettle is basically you get out of anything once, and
No, you might almost get out of things once.
But and Kobayashi
Almost anything
Maru
once.
is you can escape a certain situation, but depending on it's to detriment, I believe. It is. They're both kind of get out of things that are hopeless situation. And I have seen this woman annihilate, like dissociate people with their body. She turned people into mist. And so, I'm completely scared shitless that I am going to die in this moment.
Yeah.
Because I did something foolish and brazen. I'm a little barmy right now. I don't know if you can tell.
So good word. So kettle is a good trait. The thing is, getting out of something, you can get away with something, most anything once is the idea. The thing about kettle though is this is a reaction roll.
Oh,
okay. So you don't have to bid to do your action. Right? So you don't just bid a trait. You're throwing down and you're looking for numbers. So you want to bid stuff and activate abilities and ninja gear for numbers.
So like I'll bid cat-like reflex to activate Kobayashi Maru.
Right.
And then
correct.
Okay, that sounds great. So that's helpful. And maybe I will activate. And then I can't use when plans go awry in this because I didn't fail the throwdown. Actually, I got
you don't
double
know.
I got double tens
you don't know.
When I threw down.
No, you don't know if you failed the throwdown or not.
Okay. All right. So, and I'm just going to bid kettle just because. Why not?
Yeah, using kettle makes sense. Kettle to activate Kobayashi Maru makes sense. You know, that's the narrative that you want to tell.
Yeah.
So you're bidding the trait because that is informing you how the scene goes.
Right. And then maybe cat-like reflexes to activate when plans go awry. And then, if it's I think that's it. Actually, no, I won't do when plans go awry. I'll use cat-like reflex to activate Unbroken to maybe help stop some damage.
Okay. So when you get all your numbers and such, let me know in a second. The rest of you, what'd you all get?
I got 7 successes.
Nice. And Tony? Leah, what you missed, I was saving until you got back. Loretta moves forward and she uses this magic, the 2D runes on the ground. She pulls up, makes them 3D, and they start attempting to Gensu people. So you are about to be Gensu'd. This would be a reaction roll.
Okay.
And Rebecca. Pretty much everyone. Everyone but Ibo and Mariah. You all don't see it necessarily, but Ibo has shoved Mariah behind him up against the wall, and he's slowly pulling out this arrow, which is crackling with white energy. It's like maybe a third of the way out.
I got 3 successes.
You got 3?
Mm-hmm.
Looking for my
I am
guys.
going to spend a point of breath and go to limbo.
That's a good move.
Because otherwise I would have no successes.
Right. As we'll just go down the line. You got 7, Simon?
Yes.
What all did you spend to do this?
I had originally had 3 successes on the die. And you see Simon reach for his flask and just grabs a hold of it real quick, knowing the strength that is there in that. And picked up 2 more, and then I bid. You see him kind of plant his feet a little bit because I bid rigid to activate Shithammer, which gives me 2 more.
As this happens, you have the body, this body in your cradle in your arms. As you feel yourself, this jolt in your legs, as you, almost like a Cossack dancer, you know, that does like the Russian dance.
Oh yeah.
You pop up onto your knees, and then pop up onto your feet and start walking, stilted, being pulled as you're resisting, but your body is not listening to you. As these electrical pulses are shooting through your nerves, burning them in excruciating pain as you are walking into the seals of binding. 7 does not cut the mustard.
Okay. Let me
As Simon, in this moment, with now you have a little bit of a sympathetic link, you can tell this is no mere mortal. She is bleeding energy. There's an aura around this person.
I picked up 2 more there. As I notice this happening, I pull out my flask and take a sip of it. Hopefully it gives me the confidence to fight back, which gives me another 2. And let me see here. And I'll bid. If I have traits on the new scroll or not traits, but if the scroll is, can I activate the scroll and use those upgrades as points?
Do you have a scroll of Magicka?
Yes, I have the scroll of runes from last time, and you said that it was upgraded to a 2.
Oh, it hasn't upgraded to.
Because that's when I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can't remember. I was fucking drunk. Magical control, I know people gained, but if you have a +2 upgrade, then yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Oh, the scroll of runes, does it start at a 1 or does it start at a 0?
Starts at a 0. Everything starts at a 0.
Then I technically only have 1 because you said it was upgraded once, and I thought with the scroll it started.
So that's a +1, yeah.
Okay, so it is a +1. Okay, so that's. I'll do evasive and activate that, so that'll put me at a 10.
Woo! So describe how you're at limbo.
I'm moving, and you see me pull out the flask, and I take a sip of it, and I've still got the body in my hands, and my legs are still moving, but you can tell that they start too slow. They're not. I'm fighting it as tough as I can. You can see the strain on my face, and even the body I'm holding, like I'm kind of crumpling it a little bit because I'm literally squeezing and fighting so hard to stop these legs from continuing to move forward.
Indeed. And the limbo being as you start to near these runes, you see them lifting up like red laser beam, like razor wire, hovering in front as the person you have in your arms, in one ditch effort, kind of like tries to push away against the runes to push you back out of it. The limbo being that it's only halfway helpful. As you see, wherever their arm pushes, it just gets cut off and burned into hell. You hear over your shoulder Ibo grunt under the strain of concentrating on whatever he's doing with this arrow. He says, "Fight it! Fight it!" And Mariah's trying to get around him, and he's just like shoving her back. Okay. What did... Oh, yes, I know what Tony got because he dropped breath. Tony, dropping breath. How is it that Tony goes to limbo and is not cut into 15 pieces?
Tony is able to dodge sharp objects just barely. Well, actually, no, hold on. He was able to dodge sharp objects. He lost, but unfortunately, he lost another finger. But now it's even. So now he's just got. Now he's at 8, right? But it's even now because he lost that finger the last time when he tried to stick it through the veil, right? But he lost the other finger. He also lost the other pinky this time, right? But he was able to dodge. Unfortunately, it got his pinky, but that's it. It doesn't really affect Tony that much because he's dead.
He's not dead.
Well,
as Leah, right before Loretta Levon attacks both you and Rebecca, she attacks Tony with this web of pulsing red razor wire, these runes that have come to life. As they whip over him, and you see him spin around, one of his fingers flies off, lands, outside of the circle somewhere. As you see for a moment, Tony kind of smile as he falls into 15 pieces. Sizzling.
It's kind of think of the time when Poe exploded and then came back together.
Leah, you can make a sanity roll as you see this happen, and then Loretta turns to you and attempts to do the same thing. Tony, as you fall,
shit, I realized I messed up.
You're good. As you fall into pieces, Tony, feeling cut up, you're still awake. This is the limbo. As homunculi power unlocked, you realize you're still alive. You could still move your appendages. And those, kind of like the T-1000, those that are nearby start fusing together. It's just going to take you a little bit to put yourself back together.
I got 2 for sanity.
2? How is it that Leah deals with seeing Tony cut into pieces?
Well, I mean, she saw him, baked like a deep fryer earlier, so kind of like, oh, he'll be fine.
Oh, he'll be fine?
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of.
Yeah. As Leah dissociates.
Yeah, that's about right.
I think I'll give you the choice. You can gain a flaw, or you can gain a tick on dissociation.
I'll just put a tick on dissociation.
How many are you at?
2.
Yeah. As that kind of makes you go. As how many successes did you get?
4 total.
Okay. Yeah, you get Gensu'd. as these runes fly over your body like a net, pulling you back, and they don't stop. You feel the fire of the razor, the razor runes start pulling through your body. Do you have anything to add?
I think the only thing I can do, no matter what I do, I'd only be at limbo, so I'll just spend breath.
Okay, how do you get out of this? How do you get to limbo?
At this point, Leah also she just calls out to Areshka Gal again, and actually she'll do it out loud so that way Loretta can hear her.
Yeah. What does she say?
And say, Areshka Gal, help free me from these bonds.
With calling out Areshka Gal's name, the second queen of the earth, Howl brazen, Loretta will actually turn. She takes her attention off of you, Simon, and how dare you? You'll get a chaos roll. So it'd be a chaos die D6. You can potentially get a success on this. If you do, then you'll have a clean success because of that bid.
We're going to re-roll that.
That is the right thing? I don't know. The right thing, just an apt thing.
Got a 6 that second time.
As right before the web of the net of hell encloses around you, and you say this, Leah, the runes falter for a second, and you feel this power. I don't know how it makes you feel, but there's this power, maybe a warmth inside or something I'll let you describe. As those runes, they're not broken. They just don't quite harm you. You do feel the heat on your skin and face and whatnot as they burn this Hellraiser style against your skin. You'll take 1 point of damage. So how does that manifest?
So Leah, when this happens, will feel actually a burst of electricity come up through the ground, and sort of rise through her, through her legs, up to the rest of her body, as it fills her internally with warmth, but then she can feel it actually, the energy pushing against these runes as they're trying to cut into her body.
Yeah, as that's kind of broken. Rebecca's not quite as lucky. Hey, Simon, roll a d12, and Nord, will you roll me a d10?
Ooh. I'm gonna.
Hey,
Is this for damage before I re-roll it?
Got a 1.
Oh yeah, it's definitely damage.
I got a 1.
given how I'm treating, given how I'm treating this relationship with Areshka Gal, would the scroll of axe make sense?
If you're making a pact, then yes.
Okay.
I got a 7. It's better than the 10 I rolled at first.
Yeah, right on. So I see. And then Nord, you got a 1?
I got a 1. 1Z.
All right. As same thing happens to Rebecca, she extremely quickly spins, moves out of the way as the runes fly over one of her arms, cutting her up. You see her arm just explode into little sushi chunks from about what is this called? This is not your hand. What is this?
Mid forearm?
Your forearm.
Forearm? Thank you. Wow. Gone. I had it in Chinese. Anyway, forearm. As she goes, turning with hatred in her werewolf eyes for this woman. As that deals some pretty gnarly damage to her. But she's still kicking. All right, Nord, what'd you get?
Got an 11.
11's good. 11's good.
Didn't know how I did.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about
Is it not
Loretta
good enough?
and you. See, you really pissed her off.
Oh yeah. All right.
Big time. So, we're gonna find out. She's definitely using runes on this. All right. Simon, roll d12. Tony, roll me a d12.
Well, that time it's only a 2.
That's good.
I also got a 2
Wow.
again.
Nord, as this energy, you're trapped in the spell. It is attempting to dominate your mind and your body and literally crush your willpower as you feel the gravity in the room increase 4 or 5 times. If your knees didn't hurt before, now they do. Moving is like there's like the room has collapsed in on you. But you are not broken, with a clean success as you're holding your body and your mind intact, shaking against this power, just trying to crush you in every way possible. All right. That is her. Player turn.
I spend cunning.
Oh, it is the player turn.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
You can go first if you
My
want,
bad.
though.
No. You guys do your thing.
Do things.
Brief description. Loretta Levon, while she's bleeding and has taken some damage, does not look like she's hurt. She's moving around like she's 20 years old. Full of piss and vinegar. Being fed this energy, floating. She is terrifying to behold. Continue.
Am I having, as last described, am I still having tea with the Lady of the Veil in the Isle of Wight? Or do I see,
In a metaphysical...
Yeah.
In a metaphysical way, yes. But here's the thing. You have to choose which one you're doing.
Yeah.
In the physical world, you're in a serious battle.
Mm-hmm.
Complete concentration to not be crushed.
Right.
So you get to choose, are you going to be in the metaphysical or are you going to be in the physical? As in, where's this turn gonna occur?
So this kind of brought me out of that initial euphoria that I was in, is what I'm saying. I got pulled back from where I was.
Yeah, you have to resist it, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you're describing it some other way.
And am I still luminous?
Oh yeah.
Well, I am
It's
going.
the same round.
Yeah. I don't know how much damage I can do to her, so I'm gonna try and stop her spell, and destroy the runes underneath me, because I noticed that they're, doing a great job of, making me in a bad way. So can I attempt to destroy the runes that are underneath me?
I don't know how you're going to do it, but you can attempt.
Okay. I don't either. or maybe influence them in some way. Actually, can you guys go next? This is very complicated.
Think about this. This is hard mode. You got a lot going on.
Okay, so I will look at the body I'm holding, and go. Hopefully, this will put you at rest.
It gently nods and starts to fade, as you can tell it is.
Am I still being pulled, or can I move another way?
You feel, or you can feel it's like when someone has Indian rug burned your arm, the indentations of that spell on your body, but it's not grappled you.
Okay.
As in she let go.
Okay.
Distracted by Leah.
I am going to move over towards the next altar, still staying out of the runes. And I'm going to shoot. I want to, because it's a blunderbuss, so it's a scatter shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try and shoot and hit both the body on the altar and Loretta, if that is possible.
You can do that, but you'll likely hit your compatriots.
Okay. Then I'm going.
If you're shooting a shotgun in the direction of people, Well,
I know, but I didn't know if there was a way.
In the middle of them. Like she's moved, and so they're not all like. She has not positioned herself in a stupid way.
Okay, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's like if I had a map of people, I could. But no, that's fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to aim for the body. Then,
blow that
I'm
away.
Going to, because I'm still trying to
disrupt that spell. Okay. What do you do with the guy you were holding?
Oh, I said him down because you said he started to. Yeah, he said he started to fade away.
He turns into fairy dust and dead person. As you get over to the other altar where there's a person laying there, being siphoned up, what do you bid?
I'm gonna bid gunplay.
Okay, describe this.
So I get over to that body and I see its eyes and I'm like, I can't pull you out as well, but hopefully this will stop what's happening to you. And I'm aim the blunderbuss and I basically shoot him in the head to try and.
As you do, roll a chaos die.
That is a 4.
Okay. The bullets do not fly back at you, repelled from the spell. They do whip around, and you see them almost like BBs, like change direction. Some of them thrown against the ceiling, some of them thrown against the floor. As Simon, you realize shooting into the torrent is dangerous. Like you have no idea where those bullets are going to go. Yeah. It does seem like Loretta is being protected by the runes. So as you shoot this person on the altar with the +1, you see most of the blast takes them out. As just a little bit of the energy left in them sucks up and they turn into dust as it whips around the room. Loretta, you definitely have caught her attention.
Okay. I am going to. I'm going to start loading the blunderbuss again.
Okay.
And I'm going to start moving towards the next altar.
As you start heading that way.
Yeah.
Who else is going?
I guess I'll go. So, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking when Leah, feels this rush of energy, come up through her feet, she has kind of like a flashback where she remembers that when she died, and she went to the underworld and she spoke to Areshka Gal. She Areshka basically gave her a choice. It's like you can either, you know, go to basically go to hell, like the version of hell, or I could serve her and you know, to destroy Madam
Lady Callie.
Loretta. Lady Callie and Loretta's, you know, plotting because she couldn't directly intervene herself. And so I made a pact with Areshka Gal to do her will, or to act as her you know, emissary on the playing field, so to speak.
Okay.
So does that work as justification for having like a scroll of pacts kind of thing?
Yeah. Scroll. You can have one. Yeah.
Oh.
So you cannot upgrade it because you just got it. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Fair enough.
And so you have a pact with her. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So with the magical control, does that just kind of transfer into that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what do you do?
So unfortunately, I do not have my book. I really need to bring my book up here. I don't even know why I don't have it up here. Oh, I remember now. There was the
It kind of makes sense because Leah doesn't really know what pact does. She hasn't studied it. So
yeah, that's fair. So Leah tries to invoke the scroll of her pact with Areshka Gal to empower her to fight back against Callie.
Okay.
And what the hell? Where's that? There's that really good line I came up with that one time. I feel like we're all kind of like not really sure what we want to do. Like it's kind of gotten a little too real for this game.
I think you're probably right.
Okay. So Leah will say to Lady Madam Callie, or Lady Callie. Not Lady Callie, fuck. Loretta Levine. She will say, Lebas for losses vin Areshka Gal venas por vi. To her again. Which I admittedly, when I said that to, what was it? I said that to Lady Callie actually as well. And if I remember correctly, I think what it says is like, actually, I don't even know what it was. I just remember it was good at the time.
You just say some evil sounding shit to her. Klaatu Naruto. Is that what you do? All right. As you cast a spell, you have no idea what you're casting. What do you bid to do this?
So I will actually bid occultist.
I love it. Make a chaos roll, because anytime you use magicka, you make a chaos roll.
That's a 3.
Okay. Leah, as you don't really know what you're doing, but you feel this control, this thrumming energy, like I can suddenly dance. You're not really sure, and you start speaking these foul words. And Nord, I don't know if you're in or out, but if you hear it, you can hear Leah speaking the words, or High Calgarian is what it's called. The rest of you, her voice sort of resonates with harmonics in the room as she's speaking. They're not words of power, but they are words of magic. As the room sort of quakes a bit, but the spell is errant, because you don't know what it does, and it doesn't have a direct purpose. As a bolt of energy shoots off, hitting the ceiling, and burns it. As all that energy just explodes out. Now, the pacts require blood. Roll a d4.
Okay.
As Leah, there's the distant memory of, when you were dead that one time and sitting down with Erishka girl as she was maybe explaining to you, but it's a distant memory and you can't quite remember. You're going to have to do research and have dream therapy, or who knows, talk to Nord about it. What did she say? What'd you roll?
2.
As that bolt of energy cuts through your skin on your hands and maybe on your shoulder, as you take 2 damage, as the wound is immediately cauterized, but you can tell the blood sucks up into the spell. Had it been a mishap, it would have been very, very bad. So, Leah will learn you have to have an intention. Very, very specific intention with Magicka. Okay. So you've learned a bunch of stuff. You have all that. You can move. Where do you want to be in this room? Obviously, you see Simon blow the hell out of one dude on an altar.
Leah will probably actually move to Can I do something simple, tear off a piece of my clothing while I'm moving?
Of course.
Okay. Because Leah will actually move over to Rebecca and tear off a piece of her shirt, to try and start wrapping Rebecca's lost arm wound.
That's great. As you get over there, you see she's bleeding profusely. Blood just spilling out onto the runes as the runes are lapping up all the blood.
Yeah.
You also note that the ground is starting to become sticky. It's more difficult to move within the runes. It's not limiting how much you can move right now, but there might be the errant thought of, what can Loretta do with these runes? Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
I am going to make some shit happen. I'm going to do a little madness.
Okay.
I rolled a bunch of over 10s, so I got some aspect back, and I'm going to bid my focus again to activate.
Well, you've already bid the focus, so it's exhausted.
Well, no, it became unexhausted because I rolled.
Nice. Yeah, cool.
So
you recovered it with flair. Cool.
My focus again, because it seems like that's a thing, and just for funsies, I'm gonna see if this helps a little bit. It didn't help that much, but it helped a little. I am gonna concoct some arcane shit.
Okay.
You
mean you're gonna make alchemy?
It's not a complicated spell necessarily.
Oh, you're gonna cast a spell. I see.
But I'm using materials to create a potion, and using.
Okay, that would be alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy. Yeah, alchemy is what it. And
you're doing ttrpg.
Yeah, ttrpg basically.
Okay.
What I'm doing is creating some black sand.
Okay. Do you have the necessary?
I do.
To do that?
I've got a little bit of white, which just happens to be ludes. It has a little white in there, those ludes, and it makes sense because I'm saying something. I'm saying la profundo. As I'm doing this, and I use my staff to help. Devas dormi, la profundo devas dormi. The deep must sleep. And I'm floating nearly touching the ground. I'm very sure of this. And I got a little white, a little blue, a little green, a little rose, and I'm kind of developing this, and I use and I throw it on the ground, and I jam my staff into it, and you see the gem on the staff glimmer a little bit brighter as I'm chanting, "The deep must sleep, la profundo, devas dormi."
Okay. So to make the black sand, if you don't already have it, right? Mm-hmm. You're making black sand, not black powder, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're bidding what to do this action?
Alchemy and my chemist ability.
So throw down your chaos die.
Oh yeah, I forgot the chaos die. That's the one thing I haven't rolled. I don't want to roll that one. I'm going to use the proficiency to re-roll. Wow, proficiencies are going out of style. I got a 2.
Yep. Okay, so there's no mishap with this. How many successes did you get on making the black sand?
I got 10, 12, 2, 4.
Okay, that 8, is plenty to make this black 12. Sand. As it happens. Here's the thing. You are being crushed with a spell. So you're in a wizard's duel, okay?
Yeah.
There's a reason that wizards don't do this. Mages don't fight each other openly like this. It's actually against the rules. Nord doesn't know that. Loretta may not even know that. But this will definitely garner the attention of a Morthingi, which is a sheriff. Which is... Considering that both of you were burning very bright as souls, definitely going to happen soon. And you're not even in the natural. You're in the fucking gloaming. So yeah, you're going to be visited by a hellacious wizard killer. But beyond all of that cutscene, one dude's like this. He's like in a bar, like sucking down whiskey. He's got like the big brim hat. And she's like, Well, fuck it. It'll be a lady with like blue lipstick, and she's like, "I'll be right back," and starts on this trek. It's like a whole game. Like she gets to the adventuring party. She's like, "I gotta go kill some fucking wizards." So that's all happening. In this moment, though, as you create the black sand, being crushed by this spell that's ongoing and the seals around you, this is how we're going to deal with it. It just deals you damage. It doesn't take over your body. It doesn't take over your mind, which is what it's trying to do. And then it's going to pancake you and muddle you like an old-fashioned. That's the spell.
Did it have any effect on the runes at all?
So it will eventually, but in the moment that you stop concentrating and you do something else, you're being affected, right? Like this is like you're like arm wrestling a huge dude, and you're like, hold on a second, I'm gonna make this spell over here, right? So that's what's going on.
Right. Well, not an expert mage by any means. That's not my like thing. I keep telling people that magic is just not.
Now, earlier in the game, would it be this hard? No, but this is Loretta Levon. This is Big Bad Evil Guy in her lair on her runes.
Right.
You know? Okay.
But that was awesome.
Yeah. You getting the black powder, getting the black sand in a moment perfectly, no side effects. Yeah, you did it. You got it. Drizzle, roll D12.
Ugh. Let me spend a proficiency. There we go. That's a 1. It's better than the 10 I first rolled.
As Nord, you feel some of those tendrils of runes grab onto you and start getting inside your body to rip you up inside as you sort of squirm. Maybe the black sand sizzles and you step back and you take 1 point of damage.
You see Simon look at you and give you a wink.
Maybe like that's it. He gives you a wink and you're like, what? As you kind of step back and zing, zing, zing. Nord, right now, you're in this limbo state, this fight with her, okay? You can't actually move off the runes.
Yeah, I believe that.
As the black sand hits the runes, black sand affects alchemist fire. This is not alchemist fire. However, go on.
But the way that I did it was sort of arcane in nature. You know, there was a
as you're attempting to marry these things. So here's the question. With Magicka, since you're attempting to infuse ttrpg with Magicka, which no one has tried to do in the past and exploded. What scroll are you using? Because you're also casting Magicka. So
right. Well, the scroll of runes.
You're using the scroll of runes. Throw another chaos die. So anytime you're using ttrpg or Magicka, each one starts adding up.
Okay.
Which is also like if you're mixing like 3 or 4 scrolls, that's 3 or 4 chaos die.
That's a 2.
Okay, as there's nothing untoward about that. Crackle of energy.
Because I forgot, I did get 12 on that one instead of 11.
You got an absolute shitload of successes on creating the black sand.
Right. Okay.
Throw it down, because the thing is, the meaningful action, you've got to create the sand, and it also has to have you want it to have an effect, but you can't do 2 things in one turn. 2 meaningful actions. You only do 1.
Right.
The black sand hits and starts whatever it's going to do. You do get a narrative point for getting the crit.
I'm going to use that narrative point saying that I used a lot. I used because I ran out of the substances, some of the elements to make the black sand. So it was like it was a little more than I needed. But again, I'm in a state.
Yeah. So you'll see like a big bucket of black paint.
Right. Because I have a magic protection of 2, does that keep the 1 point of damage away or no?
Nope.
Okay.
It is not DR. Yeah. That's physical damage at you.
Okay.
All right. Tony.
Tony is still in the process of piecing himself together.
Where do you bid?
I will bid Golem.
All right,
because that's kind of what I am now.
Describe how you're putting yourself together.
Pieces of Tony start fusing together haphazardly. Eventually, an arm forms and another arm with fingers. And they proceed to speed the process along by grabbing other pieces of the body and just sort of shoving it back in there haphazardly.
You're missing those 2, though, because one flew out of the circle.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? It happens.
As you start putting like your organs back in, hoping that they're in the right spot, just sort of like, it's
not. They're not. I'm pretty sure Tony's lungs are in his butt, but it doesn't really matter anymore because he doesn't breathe.
You're a breather. as you get up on one knee and you're able to hobble around, but you're not fully together yet.
Yeah, and by the way, when I come back together, I think I should get a flaw that says, it's off kilter, right? Because my appearance is going to be now it's really going to be off, right? So like it'll be like kind of like this, right? Where like one shoulder is dramatically slumped over towards the other, and I'd say he can now swivel his head like an owl, right? Might as well.
I love it.
Yeah, because he still looks like a crispy critter.
You are a monster. It's awesome. As you kind of pick yourself up, Mariah catches a glimpse. She's screaming. You're even so freaky. Ibo has stopped for a second as he's like, "What the hell? What are you?" Wondering who he needs to shoot first. Simon, you see this. How are you responding?
Simon starts to he's seeing this, and you see him like load, because he's loading the blunderbuss, and he's like, I knew that wasn't Tony, but I didn't know it was that bad.
His head spins around and looks at Simon and says, "My work in progress. Give me a few minutes." And then spins back.
All right, you get a pip for that. Nord, I'm not sure if you see it or not. Maybe it's in the peripheral vision. Yeah. World
I don't think
action.
I see much. I think I'm just kind of like, whoa.
The world action is going to go down. But before it does, we're going to take a short break. So, refresh your drinks, get your coffee, use El Baño if need be. We will continue the next leg, as Tony will continue the next leg of this Battle Royale. Want to give thanks to the Patreon, all holy Patreon. Ember Alaria, Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Holker. Thank you guys very much. If you guys want to join the Patreon, please do. We also do coffee. We've got the coffee.com/DreadLore. We are playing DreadLore, tabletop role-playing game. If you want to check that out, it's dreadlore.com. Want to thanks to the music, the all lowercase letters, as well as Mr. Interrupt. Want to give thanks, all holy things, to Couchfire Media Production, all the cool graphics and switching. That's them on purpose. www.couchfiremedia.com. And thanks to Trois Productions for whatever it is they do. We don't really know. We will be back with part 2 of The Red Writ soon.
The Red Writ.
Also, thanks to our sponsor.
Yeah, thanks, sponsor.
Something.
All right.